This is another in a series of videos that I'm recording in a flooded home in Houston. So we're repairing this flooded home. And today I'm going to take out this door here. This is a wood core door, so it's been saturated with flood water. So I'll be taking this door out and the side light and putting in a new side light, which is right here, and the new door, which is over there. The old door is out. So now I'll drill a hole through the concrete. Let the bit cool off periodically so it doesn't overheat, because the bits will melt. Now I'm going to put an anchor down in there, and I'll seat the anchor with a regular socket. So I want to seat the anchor on the shoulder, on this shoulder, not the pin itself, but the shoulder. So I'll run the anchor down in there. Then I'll seat the pin. Now I'll frame out the opening. I've cut some 2x4s, and I will complete the framing, complete the opening for the new door. Okay, now I got the framing done, so what I'll do now is make the opening big enough to fit the door, the window, the side light, and the door. And I'll cut the base plate while I'm at it. Okay, I got the framing done. Let's see, I'll put a sill plate to rest the door on, plus to rest the side light on. I put a 2x4 separating the two, and it's going to be a tight fit for the door, but I think it'll fit. Now I'll lift the door up in place. Very tight fit. Too tight. Now I got the door in. I got it braced temporarily over here, so I'm going to leave the brace on for a second. I won't pull it off yet. And I'll release the temporary lock they've got on this thing. They've got it kind of secured with a jamb. The door into the jamb with a temporary lock. This is a little bit better than I've seen most of them do. So now the door can open freely. So what I'll do is I'll leave the jamb inside and open up the door. Now the jamb's going to be quite a bit off the framing of the house, but I can repair that fairly quickly with a couple of 2x4s to pick the door up. Just like that. And that's closer. Looks like I gotta go quite a bit further, so I've got another piece of wood here. I'll try this. That's pretty close. So now it looks like I'm going to try to center the Okay, I'll center the jamb into the frame of the house. And I will leave about a half an inch overlap, because I'm going to put a piece of trim, a one by whatever ripped piece of trim board, maybe over both the casing and the 2x4 to make it have a more finished look. So what I may do is leave it like that. I may do it something like that, and I'll put a piece of trim over the 2x4 and the door casing. So maybe I'll do it like that. So what I can do to stabilize the door is put a screw in it. down here. So I'll put a screw to stabilize it inside of the weather strip. Had to go grab some screws, but I'll put a screw behind this weather strip right here to hold it in place temporarily. Like that. Now it's flush here, so I'm going to put a 1 by whatever here, 1x4 ripped to size, to give it a more finished look. And then I'll do the same to the other side. Okay, now I've got 2 screws in the bottom of the door casing. So what I'll do is level it out now. Make it plumb. Of course, it's far from plumb, so I've got to pull the 2x4 out there, lower it down a little bit. I'll pick the door up, move the 2x4 out, it'll probably be close to that. That looks like it's plumb. So what I'll do, I think I can hold it right there. I'll take one of these screws out, one of the inside ones. Check the plumb again. Looks like it's plumb. Pre-drill a hole into the frame of the house and put a longer deck screw in it. Checking for plumb one more time. Looks like it's plumb. Don't bother me, D. Don't bother me. And that should be straight, plumb, and level. That looks good. This one may not be exactly plumb, but it looks like it's pretty close. Okay, so far so good. Okay, I got the door in. I had to get it square so that when you close the door, it's going to bump up against the seal on the outside. So I had to square the door. And once I did that, it fit pretty well. It always takes me a while to get that straightened out. But it is level. The jambs are level, so that makes sense. So now it's sealed securely and the door fits the frame. It's a little hard to open up, but I think I know the problem. The sweep is probably too long. Maybe there's a way to adjust it. I'll look into that later. But right now, you can see it's a little tough to open. I get the door closed, and you got to yank on it a little bit to get it open, so it shouldn't be that tight. So now I'm putting the locks back in. And I'll get the locks back in, put the strike plates on the door frame, and I'll be in business. And I've been spending a lot of time putting in the side light too, because the side light is not part of the door. Now, I've done that before to save money. I just grabbed the side light that fits the current door fairly closely. It's not, the windows are not the same size, but I've tried to compensate by lowering or adjusting the height of the side light as best I can, so it lines up with these window panes. So I think once I get it trimmed up and everything and painted, I think it'll look just fine. So that's it to putting in the side door. Next, we'll move on to putting in the door between the garage and the house. So see you again on another episode of the Flood House. One more thing when you're putting in the locks in the door, you got to make sure the door seals up tightly against the seal, the styrofoam here, the weather strip, in other words, the black weather strip here. So you want the door to fit very tightly and seal up against, obviously keep the water out. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in the strike plate for the handle first. I'm going to put that in with some pretty long screws for security. These screws are going to go well into the wall and even into the window. Hopefully it won't break the window. But they're nice and tight. Nothing wrong with that. And once I get those in, I can check to see how the door seals up. And I think you can hear it. You can hear it click. I don't see any light coming through between the door and the weather strip. Looks like it seals up very nicely all the way down, very even on both sides. So I think I've got it. Took me about a half a day to put the door in, but that was including the side light as well. So not bad, not too bad of a half a day's job. So we'll see you again on the next episode of the Flood House.